Good afternoon, music world. John here from What's Spinning, here today to chat about this latest record from By Storm. It's called My Ghosts Go Ghost. Formerly known as Injury Reserve, they have regrouped and rebranded after the tragic passing of Stepa T. Groggs a few years ago. And before his tragic passing, I, considered Injury Reserve to be one of the more interesting acts in the underground at the time. It really did hit me hard when he passed away. Early records like Live from the Dentist's Office and Floss were just great, jazzy, offbeat hip-hop records. But with what they did on their last record, By the Time I Get to Phoenix, it really did change, my perception of modern hip-hop. This thing was an emotional gut punch. It was devastating. But at the same time, a complete, abstract, experimental hip-hop masterpiece. It is a true meditation on grief and loss, and it is really incredibly powerful. Now, since then, they have been quietly releasing singles under the By Storm name over the last year or so. And a lot of them hinted that they were not retreating from this very abstract, experimental phase. It's been one of my most anticipated hip-hop records for a while now, and I can't wait to dive in. Let's do it. Right from the jump, this album just gives you, on a platter, what headspace it's in. Can I Have You For Myself opens this record up. It's incredibly downtrodden, emotionally bare as well, and if you were a fan of By the Time I Get to Phoenix, this should not be a surprise to you. The themes of grief and coping aren't going anywhere. This track, and a lot of the tracks here, sound completely formless and exhausted, in the best way. Deeply personal. On this opening cut, Richie with a T's verse just feels so therapeutic. And there's no traditional structure here, but that's kind of the point. It's sobering, it's overwhelming at points, and it sounds like nothing else out there right now. And the chaotic, very noisy breakdown that we get towards the end just is the icing on the cake. Dead Weight shifts the energy a little bit. It's a little bit more whimsical and spontaneous sounding. A lot of this record just feels very in the moment sounding. Chaotic at times, but very in the moment. But it's never not laser focused. It's abstract hip hop that is emotional, but also kind of hopeful. Despite its exhaustion, that is. But I mean all of this in the best way. This record is kind of an experience, one that you need to turn your brain on for. You really need to lock in, but the rewards are wild. I love Grapefruit. Grapefruit's one of my favorite deep cuts here. It's a little bit noisier and abrasive because it's also lush and colorful and bursting with passion. This track just constantly feels like it's melting, it's deforming, just phasing into this warped bluesy mess that can just explode at any point. It's visceral, it's visual, and pretty whimsical still as well. It demands your full attention, but it reminds you of just what these two men can do. In My Town has been out for a while now, and this track still gives me the damn chills. I love the lapping bluesy guitars on this cut. The harrowed vocals and this completely formless beat once again make this an experience for me. It is endlessly immersive, and Richie's performance on this cut is one of his most passionate here. It's emotional, it's raw, it's deeply, deeply effective. And yes, it's over 7 minutes long, but this album is not an easy one to digest. But it is infinitely rewarding if you give it the time that it deserves. And Zigzag is even more emotionally lost sounding. It's bluesy, it's borderline psychedelic, this beat is just so off-kilter, and the second gets even more atmospheric. By this point in the album, I'm still surprised by what this album is throwing at me. Every twist, every turn, it is so engaging. The hype is real, and this album was absolutely worth the wait. The only real blip on my radar here is I'm not actually that enamored with this album's closer, GGG. This very breathy, very airy instrumental is one of the least captivating on this entire record. Even if Richie's performance is just as passionate on this cut, the little details on this track just don't really add up for me. And after such a heavy, immersive journey, this just doesn't really hit me in the same way as a finale. Outside of that, though, we are barely into February, and this is already a frontrunner for one of the best records of the year that we're gonna hear. I can only imagine. Best Interest has this album's one feature, and it's Billy freaking Wood's Epic. This track is a hazy blur of personal demons, emotions. It's almost like sensory overload. Richie is unloading a lot here. And it's the kind of track that does take a few listens to really fully process. Not only that, but Billy Wood sounds absolutely right at home on this very abstract beat. Double Trio 2 is the most maximalist cut here. The synths are borderline kaleidoscopic, and Richie's performance is his most urgent. As a matter of fact, hearing this track that was initially a single in the middle of this record just made it hit so much harder for me. It's a completely different flavor for this record, but it really does just fit immaculately into this album's indescribable sound. And I Dance, this was the final single dropped on the record about a week before it dropped. It feels essential, honestly. Of all the cuts here, this is the most forward-thinking, introspective, and just hopeful sounding tracks. It's shimmering, it's epic, it's full of life, it's bursting with it. The hazy, colorful atmosphere is really inviting, and I don't mind the vocal effects as well. As a matter of fact, it gives this out. As a matter of fact, it just gives this track just a little bit more of an experimental charm, and I appreciate that. But yeah, even if I'm not that sold on GGG, this album's finale, this album is fantastic. Yeah, By Storm continues to just really push hip-hop in a direction that is both emotionally very raw and structurally just fearless as well. I mean, this is a no-rules record. The replay value here is amazing, and no, this is not going to be the easiest album to digest, and I don't think it needs to be. It's a record about grief, survival, and transformation, and it hit me really freaking hard. It demands your full attention, but the rewards are limitless, my friends. I'm very much so feeling a very decent 9 on this record, but let me know what you all think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe. If you're feeling froggy, turn on those notifications and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.